distinguished guests who have taken their time out to travel all the way to Shillong. We have with us Dr. Neel. He is a close friend of MIG. He is also the person who is perhaps who gives Bhutan a face in this region. He is a very close friend of Bhutan, and he is arranging our visit to Bhutan very soon. Then we have Dr. Indrani.
Hello.
She's additional secretary.
Yes.
She's additional secretary with the government of Assam. Okay, she's also come here to visit us. And we have Mr. Rocky. Mr. Rocky is a documentary filmmaker. He has been doing a lot of this work all over the country.
And changing with time. That is why we call ourselves river and mountain, community or Sangha, as you can call it. And as Neel had already said, that we are not in India, but we are just professionals who have got the passion to do something, to bring about change and all, and working on. We have got the shared experience, and when we have the problems and all, we must always be aware of what exactly our problems. Many a time we are not being able to pinpoint what exactly our problems are, or how we are feeling or reacting to one situation. That is the thing. And how do we, not only that, how we build resilience to those problems and challenges. Then thirdly is that, how we overcome it, that is through active listening to what the problem is. And then, not only that, we find solutions which are inclusive and sustainable.
Ba is an expert on governance. So they engage us irrespective of our professional position, whatever we have. So they ask us to go to the people. Am I engaged right now in your the dialogue I'm having with you all, or the monologue I'm having with you? Or is my mind somewhere else? How mindful am I? So Center for Bhutan Studies, they have done an entire scientific study on the concept of happiness. Can happiness be studied? That's the whole idea. So now they're setting up a city called the Gelefu Mindful City. The city is based something like Singapore, something like Dubai, but not really high-rise buildings, which is being built. And when the airport was being built, why I get humble is for the first 2 or 3 days of when they were felling off some of the trees, also very sustainably they're cutting the trees. Even the king, at this kind of a hot temperature, because it's on the foothills, he worked and carried the logs along with his two sons.
Deliver, and it is always rooted in social constructivism, emphasis on documentation and delivery, adaptive, mindful, and context-sensitive approach. Because sometimes maybe when we are talking about the context approach, it has to be sometimes gender is also gender
specific because
gender specific. For example, it may also become cultural specific also. So the policies are more relevant and they're acceptable and sustainable also. And also it is a kind of a continuous learning and adapting. This is what always I have said River is all about.
Tribals of Meghalaya, and especially us who are from the Khasi tribe, who have always lived on this. We have always been a community which are rooted in shared values, as you have correctly said.
Right.
The map of this region, say about 2000, 2500, 3000 years ago, was that the entire northeastern region, including the hills of Bhutan and others, were all together.
Togetherness.
Together. Why? Because, as you said, the mountain held us, but the river gives us the flow. But we were part of the basin system. We are part of the basins of the Brahmaputra. Yeah? We as tribals have always lived a very happy life with very less wants. But now we have more wants and we have more things than we actually need. Every family is suffering of having too many material things in the house, no place to keep. We don't actually need that. But somehow we are all falling into that trap of acquiring this, acquiring that. Land which was previously a community thing, now it has been totally captured by the elite people. The problem, or let me call it more severely, the cancer of the sickness lies in the village, lies in the way how we have totally discarded the as you said, no, community living.
Community
You know what we're doing? The community belief, our shared values for individual possessions.
I'm curious to ask, get a food, would this be a model city that after trial and error you would be replicating elsewhere, or would it be a one of a kind city?
Now it's just one of a kind there, and this city is the center where most of the urban putting up a casino also. But then they said it's going to affect the. They looked at the long term impact of it. You know, if you so they realized that they would allow certain businesses. There would be experts coming in, but not, and there would be some kind of an entertainment center, but it will not be a typical Macau. It will not be a typical Dubai model. Yeah.
So I was just wondering, you mentioned the Center for Kitab Studies,
Right.
since you have background in psychology.
Yeah.
What is the scope of having well-being studies in the context of Meghalaya? Do you see that as something that's
At all. And as a policymaker, I think when it comes to the mental well-being and all, because I had also given a paper on it. Okay, and so what? It's just my opinion. Like when it comes to mental well-being, probably as a policy, we can first and foremost think of training the students. Secondly, we can also think of training the teachers. Be it like the psychologists are there, counselors are there, but then how that synergy has to be there. These people are there. How we bring about those people with the help, that
A is the you need a government system, of course. I mean, I don't know how it works, but probably it works. So as she talks about, B is the involving the teachers. Now, the first is the teach. My biggest challenge is the teachers and the parents. Done by my peers and peer pressure. Younger people is there in every age group. Asba. I mean, even if you get older also, there's always a kind of a peer pressure. So this is where I think the first is the target of the parents, and especially in the rural areas, the kind of uh, it's really gone deep, like a octopus or a crab holding on to something. You know, it's really dangerous. Sorry, Rocky, you're from technology, so but I know you balance it out. I mean, we need it, but how much do we consume it?
So are they happy? If they're happy with what they've done, is okay. We won't force them to go to school. But if they're not happy, what do we do? So perhaps whatever we discussed today, we should look at this happiness indexing from a younger age. So I want to thank
Thank you.
Indrani, Neel, Rocky. Thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure hosting you, and we look forward to taking this discussion to the next level with some more physical interaction,
More
and at different locations. And perhaps once we do that, we can, MIG is there. We have already been planning of organizing a conclave for all the young people and leaders, the young leaders of the Northeast.
nice.
Okay.
Let us
The
know.
young leaders of it. Perhaps now that we have you here, maybe Indrani, we have already in touch with other Northeastern states. We can organize one and we can talk on issues that we, as the new young people of the Northeast, would like to address. Are we still going to be blindly following, mimicking the policies made by the West? Or are we going to come up with our own indigenous ideas of how to develop ourselves? So these are issues that we need to discuss amongst ourselves without outside interference.
Actually,
Yeah?
actually.
Okay. So thank you very much again to all.